Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to take a call to support this bill. This is a very important bill, and this is an urgent bill, and should be passed with a great sense of urgency. A report prepared for the Commerce Minister, who's responsible for this bill in August 2012, said New Zealand shell companies allowed money laundering, totaling $1.5 billion a year. The report warned that New Zealand was becoming a domicile of choice for those seeking to engage in illegal activities. And again, in 2012, New Zealand was struck off a prestigious European Union banking and corporate white list over this country's weak money laundering and terrorism financing controls. Being struck off the white list will put New Zealand banks and corporates in an awkward situation, and it will have a negative impact on New Zealand banking and institutions. What's worth reiterating is that this bill's genesis came from revelations in early 2010 that a New Zealand registered company had leased a plane loaded with 35 tons of guns and explosives that was later intercepted in Bangkok, trying to smuggle the arms from North Korea to Iran. The government has been aware of those issues for some time, and this bill is part of the measures addressing those problems. It is disappointing that this bill received almost no attention since its introduction, and it languished at the bottom of the order paper. So how on earth there is such a bill that protects New Zealand's international reputation and prevents this country from being abused and exploited by those terrorists would have received such a low priority from this National Act government? Labour, however, has taken a positive and constructive approach, and we support this bill. So, Mr. Speaker, this bill will give new powers to the Registrar of Companies to investigate and deal with non-compliance with the Companies Act. This bill will allow the removal of companies from the register if they provide inaccurate information or persistently fail to comply with the Act. The registrar will also be able to ban directors of such companies from taking part in the management of any company for up to 5 years. It will make similar changes to the Limited Partnerships Act so that those misusing New Zealand companies cannot avoid the new regime by registering limited partnerships instead. This bill will better align the Companies Act with the Takeovers Code to ensure shareholders understand the effect that the changes in company control will have on the value of their shares. And finally, this bill introduces criminal offences for directors who commit serious breaches of their duties to act in good faith and in the best interests of the company, and to not carry on business in such a way that risks serious loss to the company's creditors. To conclude, this bill enhances the registrar's investigative and deregistration powers and will help protect New Zealand's international reputation and prevent this country from being exploited and abused by those terrorists. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Members, this debate is concluded. The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it.
Companies Amendment Bill number 4, third reading. Limited Partnerships Amendment Bill number 2, third reading.
Call on Government Order of the Day number 6.
Commerce, cartels and other matters.